Yo, it's Worm. Today I'm going to show you how to make your weapons legendary. To do that, you need to build a legendary forge. You're going to need the following items: Rift Crystal, Iron Bar, Cut Ruby and Rift Shards. You're also going to need a gem cutter. If you don't know how to make this, I'm going to leave a link in the description which will show you how to make one. You're going to need later on to cut rough ruby into cut ruby. To get started, you need to unlock the recipe for the legendary forge, so either pick up one of the 4 materials: Rift Crystal, Iron Bar, Cut Ruby or Rift Shards. So we're going to need all these items. In no particular order, I'm going to start off with Rift Shards. These are the hardest ones to get. To find Rift Shards, the easiest way to go is to go all the way over to the Lost Isles. Once you get onto the bus, you're then going to land on top of the floating islands. If you haven't been to this part of the map yet, it's basically just below us here. We're going to try to find some golems. These are equivalent to brutes, but they are made out of stone. They are pretty annoying to find, and if they do find you, they will probably kill you. Once you eliminate them, they're going to drop you a Rift Shard. The main reason we're going onto this island is you're going to see a cave in front of us. There's also a little thing next to it called a Rift Shrine. If you put some resources in it, it will open up the shrine and there's going to be a golem in it. It does respawn every now and then. To activate the shrine, you need to put some resources in it, such as rough emerald. To find that, you just have to farm the materials around the area, and you can normally use a rare pickaxe in the buff to do that. They're going to drop 2 every single rock, so you're going to need 2 in total, which equals 4. Once you have them, go back to the shrine and activate it. Okay, once inside, you're going to be a little bit cornered because you're going to have a really angry golem. These are the storm ones, so they're going to be like a lot harder to eliminate. If you do use fly mode, it's probably easier to get away from them because when they do spin you, it's going to probably knock you out. Okay, the best way to eliminate them is basically get them into this corner and just keep hitting their head, and eventually they will die. You can't use any other weapons except for a sword and a pickaxe because they're made of rock. So using this crossbow is not going to do anything. Just take your time, hit him a couple of times, jump back before he knocks you out because he can hit you through the rock. Okay, there is another easier way to kill the golems. If you go to the other islands, you're going to find one of these rocks. Around them you're going to see all these little statues, and one of them is going to be a golem. He's going to appear if you open a chest or break the statue. Hit him a couple of times and let him chase you when he's spinning around, and then jump off the side. But make sure you have a redeploy when you use this because he's going to follow you. If you're above water, he's going to literally die, but you need to keep up with him. If he goes down before you and you don't see him, you're not going to see the Rift Shard. I think you can do this around 8 times as well across this map. The other way of getting Rift Shards is by destroying bus stops. There's 2 bus stops on this island, so you can take one of them out and it's going to give you 3 shards. You can rebuild it if you really want to. Once you've got the shards, we're going to move on to the next item, which is going to be iron bars. Step 2, iron bars. This is the quickest way of getting iron bars. If you go over to these little temples, inside you're going to see these vases. Yep, they're pretty much everywhere. So if you hit them a couple of times, they're going to give you 3 iron bars. You can do this a couple of times across here. Alternatively, you can get a Colombo and let him run into them and he will break them for you. They can be hidden, so you have to literally look around all these little places because they will be tucked in the corners. If you target the floor, it's going to break them quicker, so you don't end up using your pickaxe more than you should. You can also break these chests as well, so if you see these green and blue ones, if you pick out the box, it will also give you the materials that makes them, which is iron bars. Now we have the Rift Shards and iron bars, we are halfway there to creating the legendary forge. Rift Crystal, a crystallized rift energy used to craft the legendary forge and to strengthen tools and weapons to legendary status. In other words, these are random rocks that will appear when you find them in the storm dungeons. To locate these storm dungeons, you need to look up in the sky and you're going to see a purple light. You then need to travel all the way over to there and then venture into the actual storm. Once in the center of the circle, you're going to see this rift. Go into it. Once inside the dungeon, we now need to destroy 3 crystals to open this next rift. They're scattered around, so you just have to follow the path around. They're quite hidden. The best way to eliminate them is using the crossbow from distance. Once you've got the 3rd one, head back to the beginning where you started off at, and there's going to be a purple little pad, and that's going to have a new rift on it. You're also going to have a chest next to it too. You can pick up the chests, up to you. Once you go inside the rift, you're then going to start a mini game with 3 rounds. You're going to get a load of enemies, spawn with crystals, a bit like the zombie game. You're now going to get random little storm NPCs fighting you. They're going to randomly drop items, and one of them is going to be the crystals. You're also going to get Eye of the Storms, and you're also going to get another type of crystal, but we are after the Rift Crystal. This is long-winded, so if you don't have an NPC with you helping you fight them, they're literally going to gang up on you. You literally have to destroy the crystals and it'll basically stop them spawning in. And as there's 3 waves of them, you need to be very efficient. When you eventually do kill one of these guys, they're going to drop you a Rift Crystal. We need 3 of them in total. However, there is an easier way to get load of these Rift Crystals. If you find Raven's mansion, it won't appear on the map yet unless you've got to a certain stage on the storm base. As you can see, he's not appeared. But you can go in it and you can break things down, and eventually you're going to find these barrels. So if you go all the way to the stairs, you're going to find these barrels. They got some pink stuff in them. These are the crystals. You can't break the barrels, so you have to break the floor and then they will literally fall apart. I think each barrel has 1. It may have 2, I don't know. See, it's given us 7 Rift Crystals. So you went through all that hassle of getting 1 through them stages, and then you got 7 straight away. There's 4 parts to this. So if you go up the stairs, underneath the stairs, I think you need to do it 3 times. So if you go all the way at the top, and then you get the odd barrel here too. But some of them aren't actual crystals, they're just tomatoes. So you need to be careful which is which. There is a catch though, because as these are decorations, they don't spawn back in once the Raven comes here. So what you get is what you get. You're going to get around 25 here. Once you've got them, we're then going to head over to the desert. We now need to go get some rough ruby. So to get rough ruby, we need to go all the way over to the desert area, which is quite far from my island, and then go in a lava cave. I've turned off the heat so I don't get affected by it, but if you do go here, you need to get the charm, which keeps you cool. Once inside, you can either farm the wood or open chests, and there's a chance that you get rough rubies. You can also find the ones on top of the walls and ceilings. They're going to give you 2 every time you break one. They are a bit of a pain to get to, that's why I have fly mode on, or you're going to constantly get tapped by these skeletons. They can blow you up as well, and they throwing rocks at you from a distance, just to make your life hard. Once you've got all this stuff, we're going to head back to our base, and we're then going to cut the rough ruby into cut ruby. This is going to take a while because you need to do 6. Once it's done, we can then create the legendary forge.
The next day.
Okay, we now have the requirements to make the legendary forge. So if you go to where you want to build it, I'm going to build it in this building, and then just place it anywhere. Remember, once you've built it, you need to make sure you have epic weapons. So to use this legendary forge, just activate it and pick one you want. And remember, you have to use Rift Crystals ×3 to turn them into Rift weapons. What I mean by Rift weapons is you basically have to charge them up before they turn into legendary ones. These are probably really good to farm a lot of materials. So if you want to farm materials, do that while you're trying to make these legendary. You're also going to boost their stats too, like the damage and durability, and you can also add runes to them as well. So that's up to you if you want to do that. However, not all weapons you can use, so you can only use the ones that you can hit things with, so you can't use the guns at all. Okay, as you can see, it's now changed to Epic Rifted, and underneath them there is a new bar with the Rifted Crystal logo next to it. We now need to charge these up to turn them legendary. This is going to take a while. Once you've done enough damage, it's then going to rift into a legendary item. So if you go to your menu now, we can compare the two. So it's now 14 damage, and the other one was only 11. The crossbow upgrade is a little different because you don't actually have to hit people to upgrade it, it just has to hit something. Once it's turned into a legendary item, you're going to see a big increase in damage. The body shot's going to go to around 22, and the headshot is going to be 33. I don't think I have many runes on this. I don't think I have damage. Yeah, I have luck 1 and sap 1. So if you had damage, you'll probably increase it to a lot more. So if you compare the damage to the first one, 17 and then 22, that's a 5 increase. You've also increased the durability, and because I have the luck 1 and sapping 1 on the legendary, it hasn't really made a difference in luck performance. So far I have upgraded the sword, the pickaxe, the axe, and the crossbow. I'm going to do the dagger next, but just make sure when you do these to actually add the damage free on the runes, because it's going to increase the damage by quite a lot. Anyway guys, I hope this helps. If you need any more information, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Till next time, peace.